Support for this podcast comes from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, connecting communities with the resources, infrastructure, and networks to ensure a vibrant local free press.
From KVPR in Fresno, this is Central Valley Daily. It's Tuesday, June 3rd. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Coming up, the Scripps National Spelling Bee wrapped up last week. So what happens to spellers once they compete and move on from the competition?
I would say wholeheartedly that the spelling bee completely fundamentally changed who I am.
We check in with the 2017 winner, who's from Fresno County, to see what she's up to now. But first, these news headlines. A Connecticut man will serve prison time for defrauding investors as part of a scheme involving the Fresno tech company Bitwise. Andrew Adler was sentenced Monday in federal court to 3 years in prison. He pleaded guilty earlier this year. Adler and his business partner were accused of fraudulently securing up to $20 million in loans for Bitwise. That investor money was lost when the company collapsed 2 years ago. Adler was ordered to pay $10 million in restitution in addition to his prison sentence. Local officials in San Diego are criticizing a chaotic immigration and customs enforcement raid at a local restaurant late last week. Saul Gonzalez with our newsroom partner KQED reports.
Several restaurant employees were arrested in the raid by masked federal agents in full tactical gear. Pedro Rios is director of American Friends Service Committee's U.S.-Mexico border program. He spoke with NBC San Diego.
When I arrived, I saw that the workers were all sitting in chairs. They had plastic handcuffs around them. The ones that they took out, they not only placed handcuffs on them, but they also put chains on their legs.
In a social media post over the weekend, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says he was deeply upset by the raid and that such operations undermine trust and create fear in communities.
That was Saul Gonzalez with KQED. A new superintendent has been named at Central Unified School District. The school board is set to approve a contract for Mark Marshall at its meeting later this month. Marshall currently leads Los Banos Unified School District. Former Clovis Unified Superintendent Emer O'Brien has led the Central Unified District on an interim basis for the past few months. The Kings River is back open to boaters in Tulare County. Sheriff Mike Boudreau yesterday announced that water levels are now high enough to safely accommodate boats, jet skis, and other motorized vessels. He says to use caution when navigating the river and always wear a life jacket. The move is welcome news after a heat wave scorched the valley.
Support for Central Valley Daily comes from Body 20 in Fresno's Fig Garden Village, offering full-body electromuscle stimulation training sessions. It's a high-tech, time-efficient way to help preserve and rebuild lean muscle. Each 20-minute one-on-one session is guided by a certified coach using FDA-cleared technology. Body 20 accepts health savings account cards. More information available by searching the Fig Garden location at body20.com.
And now to our main story. Last week, hundreds of star spellers from across the country gathered near Washington, D.C. to spell incredibly difficult words on stage. They were competing in the Scripps National Spelling Bee. 4 students total from the San Joaquin Valley competed this year, and one of them came very close to winning it all. Sarvanya Kadam is a student at Oak Grove Elementary School in Visalia. He came in second place and took home a cash prize. But with the competitions behind us, we wondered, where do these star spellers go from here after having put so much work into this competition? So we decided to check in with Ananya Vinay. She's a Fresno native who was crowned the National Spelling Champion in 2017. She was just 12 years old. Now she's studying neuroscience at Pomona College and even helps train young spellers. KVPR reporter Samantha Rangel recently caught up with Vinay to learn what she's been up to in the 8 years since winning the Scripps Spelling Bee.
I would say wholeheartedly that the spelling bee completely fundamentally changed who I am. It gave me a powerful community of other people who love language the way I do, and it taught me so many skills about studying and learning about the world around me. By simply learning how words work and the history and the etymology and everything that comes with it, you learn a lot about many other subjects, history, science, and everything else in the process. And the writing and vocabulary skills that I gained from the spelling bee are still something I use in every college paper and assignment and reporting for my school newspaper and in public speaking and basically every aspect of my daily life. And after winning the spelling bee, I've always been a relatively introverted person, but the spelling bee forced me to truly get out of my comfort zone and challenge myself to do things I never would have thought I would have had the courage to do, but I did it, and it helped remarkably with my confidence, among a multitude of things.
Can you talk about that community, the spelling community, and how you kind of grew out of that shell from your introverted self, I guess?
I competed in spelling bees seriously from starting around third or fourth grade, and I first won the state spelling bee for 2 years in a row, and then with the support of Paul Leffler, Jim Boren, and Jim Yavino, among other people at Fresno County, I was able to have the chance to go to the National Spelling Bee. And there, I met a lot of really amazing people. And that community is still, even 8 years later, active every year around the spelling bee time. And we all reflect and bond over our shared experience. And it's something that I deeply treasure.
Is there any lesson that you learned in your time competing that particularly applies to your life now studying neuroscience at Pomona?
I've learned that something that really helped me when I was studying was to learn the stories behind the words. And studying neuroscience, I now see why you need to learn the stories behind the words. Because, especially in our memory circuits, in the transition between something going from short to long term memory, there's elaboration and basically telling yourself the story feeds that transition to your long-term memory such that the memory is encoded and then moves from your hippocampus to your cortex. So actually a lot of the study tactics and things that I did without knowing why, I kind of now know why those help me study.
We followed a few competitors from Fresno County this year on their spelling bee journeys, including Warren Lee, who's actually from your old elementary school in Fresno, and you've been helping to train him. What has it been like to step into a spelling mentorship role?
It's been incredibly meaningful because mentors from Fresno County helped me get to the National Spelling Bee, and it's something that's important to me to give back to the community that helped give me the fundamental opportunities that I got and that made me who I am. And I believe also that in some sense there's a shortage of accessible educational opportunities and mentorship in Fresno County. And finding a way to fill that gap is something that I've worked towards for the past 6 years. Firstly, through my educational initiative, Project Ignite, that supports teachers in rural Fresno County, and something that I do here as a part of a health equity project called Health Bridges. And this is something that I'm very passionate about, filling that gap of mentorship and educational opportunity so that students can know the opportunities that are out there and have access to explore what their dreams and what they could possibly be good at.
Do you feel like your spelling journey has come full circle now that you're watching someone that you coached take the stage at a spelling bee like you did?
Yeah, I've actually seen this happen several times because I've been coaching spelling in various capacities around the country ever since I was in seventh grade. And every single time, no matter how well they do, it's very refreshing and fulfilling to see their hard work and their passion pay off and to see them grow and have a fun, challenging experience on stage.
Are there any other words of advice that you could offer to these San Joaquin Valley students who may just now beginning their journeys?
When it comes to starting your spelling journey, it's all about having an open mind and giving it a chance to see what you learn and giving yourself grace when you struggle with all the myriad complexities that language does offer. And be open to learning not just the order of the letters, but the stories behind the words and the histories that shape them into what they are. And more importantly, when you're competing, it's not about the competitors, and it's not about the judges, and it's not about the audience. It's about taking what you can control, which is hearing the word, asking the questions, processing the information, and from there, trying to do your best with that information in a focused headspace to spell it. And what you learn after being the spelling bee for a long time is that you're not competing against anyone. You're competing against the dictionary and what the dictionary tosses at you. And once you learn that you deal with what you can control with the luck of the dictionary, that it becomes quite a fun challenge, actually.
Before I let you go, Ananya, we asked your favorite winning word from 2017. So now, kind of backtracking, what's your favorite word altogether and why?
A word that I've loved since my time in the spelling bee is spizzaringtum. It means ambition, willpower, and I personally think it's just a very fun sounding word with an interesting origin, and that's why it's my favorite word.
That was KVPR's Samantha Rangel interviewing Ananya Vinay. Vinay won the 2017 Scripps National Spelling Bee. Last week, a student in Texas took home the grand prize at this year's competition, and a student from Visalia took home second place. And that's today's show. Have feedback for Central Valley Daily? Let us know. Email podcast@kvpr.org. Today's episode was produced by Carrie Klein and KVPR with support from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Find the latest local news anytime at kvpr.org.